Hey guys, welcome to Manoeuvre. This is Aditi Ray and today again we will talk about the GK and Current Affairs section of MH Law CET exam 2019. I'm sure all of you have started your preparation for MH Law CET exam. Let us focus on the GK and Current Affairs section and look at the topics that will be extremely important for you with respect to this exam. Now, I'm sure you all know that the tentative exam dates for MH Law CET, which is for the 5-year program, is going to happen in April 2019, and the MH Law CET exam for 3 years course is going to happen in somewhere around June 2019. Now, keeping these dates in mind, please focus and plan your studies and your preparation accordingly. Let us see the weightage of GK and Current Affairs in both these exams. Now, for the 3 years course, the weightage of GK is 40 marks out of 150 marks, which is a very major chunk of it. And for the 5-year program, the weightage of GK and Current Affairs is 30 marks out of 150 marks. The weightage of GK and Current Affairs, that is, if we divide this into static GK and Current Affairs, then the bifurcation is going to be somewhere like 60% of the paper out of these 40 marks is going to be dedicated to static content and 40% of the paper is going to have current affairs questions. Whereas for the 5-year course, if we again bifurcate this into static and current affairs, then the bifurcation is going to be somewhere around 50% and 50%. So we can see that static and current affairs both play very important role in this MH Law CET exam, and therefore our focus should be on both the topics equally. Okay? Let us see why GK plays such an important role in our examinations. First of all, and a no-brainer, is that it is extremely time saving. The time you take to read and solve all the other questions of other sections is going to be way more than the time you will take to solve each question of your GK section. Okay, it's going to hardly take like 10 seconds for you to read a question and answer a question in the GK section. And therefore, you can spend the time that you have saved here in this section, in the GK section, you can utilize this time for your other sections. Second point is that it is extremely score booster. Okay, now these are no-brainers. You either know the question, you know the answer, or you do not know the answer. So it's not going to take a lot of time, and since it is not a time consuming section, it is going to be a score booster. And thirdly and most importantly, there are no negative marking in this examination, and therefore you can easily go and attempt all the 30 questions or all the 40 questions that come in your examination without the fear of negative marking. If you have even the slightest idea of any question in this question paper, you can easily go ahead and mark the answer. Why? Because there is no negative marking. Okay? Now let's look at the major topics that will be coming in that you have to focus on with respect to GK and Current Affairs. Firstly, you need to focus on the history of India part, especially modern India, the freedom struggle part. Okay, you need to have a very good idea about the freedom struggle of India. Questions from this section have time and again come and are very easy in nature. They are very factual in nature. So, once you have a clear idea of what happened when, the chronology of all the things that happened during the freedom struggle of India, this section is going to be very easy score booster for you. The second section that you need to focus is the geography. You need to have a basic understanding of the geography of India especially, right? You need to know the states, especially the map of the states. You need to know where the state, the location of the state, the boundaries of the states, the name of the rivers. Alright, these basic political things you need to know in the geography section. Third, for you is a very easy thing. You need to have a very basic understanding of the Constitution of India And it is by default understood, right? You are preparing for MH Law CT. You are preparing to study the laws of India. And therefore, it is imperative that you must have a very good understanding and knowledge of the Constitution of India. When I say the Constitution of India, they expect you to know the preamble very well, the Constitution, the fundamental rights, the fundamental duties, the directive principles of state policy, etc. Alright, especially the amendments. The amendments are very important, especially the recent amendments. Alright, so they expect you to know all these things very well. Next comes the days and the dates. These are very important and very factual in nature. They can ask you something very simple and very easy, like when was the Navy Day, when is the Navy Day celebrated in India? So the answer is 4th of December. Something very similar to that. They can ask you the days and the dates that are being celebrated in India. Next topic that you need to focus on is the books and authors. This is very important because every year 2 to 3 questions come from this section directly. Next comes the sports and tournaments. You need to be aware of all the sports and tournaments that are happening in India. The awards and recognition, especially the persons in news, which person has got which award, alright, what recognition has that person got, you need to know these things. Science and technology, they ask you very basic things in science and technology, but again you need to be well versed with your basic science and technology. Next comes the international organizations. By international organizations, I mean the United Nations, World Bank, IMF, etc. Alright. So you need to be aware of the basics of these international organizations. And of course, the current affairs of last 1 year minimum and miscellaneous topics that keep coming. Alright. So these are the topics that you need to have a very good focus and good idea about. Now let us look at something which can be considered into a static and a current affairs topic together. Now, Supreme Court of India came into being on 26th of Jan 1950. Now, if you look at the date, this is a very familiar date, right? This was the date when the Constitution of India actually came into being. So, there are 2 dates in this respect that you need to keep in your mind. First is 26th January 1950. Constitution came into being from this date. Another date that you need to keep in mind is 26th November 1949. This was the date that Constitution was adopted by us. We adopted the Constitution on 26th November 1949. Alright, these 2 dates are important. So let us go back to Supreme Court. Supreme Court came into being on 26th January 1950. Second point that you need to remember is the size of the bench. So the size of the bench of Supreme Court is 30 plus 1, that is 30 judges, alright, plus 1, this is the Chief Justice of India or CJI. So 30 plus 1, that is 31 is the total size of the bench of Supreme Court. Who was the first Chief Justice of India? It was H.J. Kanya. This name is very important because he was the first Chief Justice of India of Supreme Court. So, H.J. Kanya, a name is very important. Another name which again can be taken as a current affair material is the present Chief Justice of India. Who is the present recent Chief Justice of India who has been appointed very recently? So, the name is Ranjan Gogoi. Next, another static material. Article 124 of the Constitution talks about the provisions of Supreme Court. So, Article 124 of the Constitution talks about the eligibility of the judges and the Chief Justice of India. Now, what is the eligibility? Eligibility is very simple. It is the person has to be a citizen of India. To be the Chief Justice of India, he should not exceed 65 years old. That is, the maximum age limit is 65. The moment a person turns 65, he is no longer eligible to be the Chief Justice of India. He should have been a judge in a high court for at least 5 years, or an advocate for at least 10 years, or he should be a distinguished jurist in the opinion of the President. Now another thing, who appoints this Chief Justice of India? So a Chief Justice of India is appointed by the President of India. A very important question that can be asked to you in the examination. President appoints the Chief Justice of India. Alright. So you just saw that we covered the basic and the static part of Supreme Court. These were all the basic static parts, and this was the current affairs, that is Ranjan Gogoi is the present Chief Justice of India. Let us look at something else now with respect to Supreme Court. Now I am sure all of you have heard about this SABRIMALA temple case that has been happening since almost more than a year now. So recently Supreme Court gave its ruling that back then the Chief Justice of India was Deepak Mishra and not Ranjan Gogoi. So Deepak Mishra, the then Chief Minister, that is in September 2018, he had given a ruling that women of all ages must be allowed to enter into the renowned temple, ending a centuries-old ban on women and girls of their menstruation age, that is between 10 to 15 years. The massive protest by devotees who called the Supreme Court decision an insult to Sabrimala's deity, Lord Ayyappa, who is believed to be a celibate. Now Lord Ayyappa is believed to be a celibate, and therefore women and girls of menstruation age, that is between 10 to 50 years, are not allowed into the temple. The judgment is revolutionary. Why it is revolutionary? Because it removes the stigma or the concept of dirt or pollution associated with menstruation. Supreme Court has later agreed to review in an open court its order that all women of all age groups are allowed to enter the temple. Why? Because there has been a massive protest against the ruling of Supreme Court. Now, what is the name of this case, this Sabrimala case? The name of the case is not Sabrimala case. Okay, this name you will see only in the newspapers and the televisions. The actual on-paper name of this case is Indian Young Lawyers Association versus the State of Kerala case. This is the name of the Sabrimala case. Now, they can ask you in the examination that the Indian Young Lawyers Association versus the State of Kerala case is associated to which of these issues? Now, the name of the issue is Sabrimala Temple issue. This is the name of the issue, not the name of the case. The name of the case is this, Indian Young Lawyers Association versus the State of Kerala case. I hope you have a very good idea now how to go about the section of GK with reference to static and current affairs section. Now, if you are a Mumbai-based student, you can contact us on our Borivali Center on 9076424208 or at our Dadar Center at 8828581454. For students who are not Mumbai based, you can get in touch with our online team at 8828581455. You can also directly visit us on our website, that is manoeuvreedu.com. For more videos, please hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to like the video. Do share the video with your friends on Facebook, WhatsApp and other social media. All the best for your examinations. Have a good day. Thank you.